My name's Kelley Watson, and why I love living in Port Townsend is I think because of the water. We're on the Quimper Peninsula and we're completely surrounded by the water. So there is a level of accessing the wilderness of the water that is just literally out my back door. So that is an incredible asset that Port Townsend has, and the ability to easily get out on the water. I would also live here because this is where my community is. So there's all sorts of beautiful places, but there's an incredible group of people here, and I've lived here for the last 25 years because of that community of people. Now, especially in the pandemic, my favorite part of Port Townsend, I'm going to sound like a broken record, is the water. So I've taken up open water swimming since the pandemic started. And so multiple times a week, I put on a wetsuit with an incredible group of people, and I head into the water and I see so many incredible things. So I get to swim with the kelp and watch the salmon underwater and discover all sorts of things under the water, so that I can live so close to the water, work on the water with my students, play on the water after work, and hop into the water for my recreation on the evenings, mornings, and weekends. That's one of my favorite parts about Port Townsend.
My reasoning, well, it reminds me a lot of other places that I've lived. Kind of, if you take all the wonderful things out of a few places I've lived and put them all in one spot. And I had come up here to visit family a few times and kind of fell in love with Port Townsend and the Olympic Peninsula. The ability to do so much outdoors, the national park just the south, the sailing, you name it. But it kind of brings together a lot of places that I had lived before, and all those attributes in a small town. And probably one of my biggest selling points is, before I even took up teaching, I remember watching some students on a field trip, and I noticed that the students, they weren't so concerned about whether they were wearing the perfect clothes, or they weren't concerned about whether they had all the trappings of kind of like modern day society, and that's probably not the right way to put it, but they were more concerned about just interacting with each other. They were just being students, and it was refreshing, I guess I could say, to see that it was a great place for kids to grow up.
The main part of living in Port Townsend is how we, all members of the community, get to enjoy this beautiful peninsula that is surrounded by water and beautiful mountains. And there's an activity for everyone to do, like hiking, climbing, surfing, sailing, paddleboarding. So in your off time, you really can have a good time, and everything is just miles away, a few miles away from your home. This is also a community where everybody takes an opportunity to participate and help each other. You feel always safe here, and many volunteers in the schools, and many people really care for this community. So for me, every time I ask myself where else I would like to live, I really don't have an answer. I think I'm in the right place, and I am really proud to have raised my family here.
My family and I decided to move when our eldest was about to start kindergarten. And it's basically the reason why we decided to stay in Port Townsend as well. We were looking for a small community that was really supportive of music and the arts, because music and art are really big in our family. I have a lot of string instrument players, so being in orchestra here has been a beautiful experience for them. Private lessons also means that you have access to amazing musicians in the community, so we've been really, really thankful for that as well as amazing artists that live here. So we're really thankful to be a part of all of it. I'm glad to be living here just for that big connection to the outdoors. I didn't start hiking and camping until I turned 30, and I'm so thankful to be living in this place because of the access to the mountains, to the ocean, beautiful scenery, the ability to wildcraft and learn about native plants and herbalism. There's a lot of wonderful things that I feel like I'm getting support for because I'm in this community. One of my favorite parts about being here in Port Townsend is our wonderful connection to the outdoors. I am super thankful that I have been able to participate in wonderful herbalist classes, learning about native plants, and my children have also been able to participate because we have wonderful herbalists living here. We have other wonderful groups like Cedar Root Folk School that are giving our kids these amazing opportunities to get outside and learn about nature and become conscious, wonderful, kind human beings. I'm also grateful that my girls were able to participate in an experiential learning classroom, which I got to teach in, so that was super special as well. I have many things that I love about Port Townsend, but definitely one of them is the access to the outdoors, the mountains, the sea, the woods. It's all here.